Hey everybody, it's CompHelp. Thank you for watching this video, which is part 7 of my 3D Studio Max series for beginners. You've learned a ton already, and now what we're going to do in this video is actually dive into splines more, shapes, and start controlling them more, start modeling with them, kind of, getting the hang of these things, because they're a whole nother beast on their own, and, they may be helpful. I don't know, they're really cool, because you can get really unique shapes and modeling. You can model unique things from these. So let's go ahead and grab our Create tab, and we're going to go into the Shapes tab or button, go down to Splines, make sure it's on Splines, and click Circle. Now we want to make this in the front view. Now remember, depending on which view you make everything in, that is going to affect the way it looks in the perspective view, which is the final view of your project, I guess you could say. So look at, I'm making this in the front view. Look how it turns out in the perspective view. If I make it in the top view, it now lies down. And if I make this in the left view, it, everything, it's just made in a whole nother way. So let me go ahead and rotate around, and you can see that right there. So the front view is what I want, because we're going to go ahead and we're actually going to use something to make a hose, a water hose kind of a thing. So let me select those two that I don't need, and there we go. We are back with our front view circle. Now let me go ahead and give you guys a little challenge. What if we want to grab this shape, and what if I want to move this to make it on top of this grid line? How would you do that? Hopefully what you've done is you've selected it, first of all, and press W, and maybe you're using all of your viewports here, and maybe you're using your front viewport here, and you're moving it to this solid line right here. See how it moves? Look at the perspective view. It was like this before. It's through the grid. Me personally, I have a case of CDO, which is OCD in alphabetical order, the way it should be, and I move this to the top of that hard line there. Okay, so I mean, yeah, I always like to work on top of that grid line. I don't know why. We can even get rid of the grid by pressing G, but I like the grid just for now to keep ourselves organized, just in the beginning while we need it for these beginning tutorials. So anyways, so you guys can kind of have a sense of where you are. Otherwise, if I start moving around, and you guys are kind of like, whoa, where is he in space? Well, oh, there he is. Okay. So anyways, there we go. Now, I don't want to make this shape so big. So how do I adjust that size? Well, hopefully you've pressed R and, size this down. I want this kind of small. And now I can press W and, bring it back down to the grid. There you go. There's a little practice to move your shapes around. Great. Alright, so I'm going to go over to the top view now, and I'm going to actually make a line. This is going to be the way the circle follows the path. This is going to be the way our hose looks. Now, we're not going to make it all intricate and fold it and stuff. We're just going to, very simple, make a line. Now, the line tool, if you've ever used Photoshop, works sort of like that. What we can do is click, let go, and you can see, now we're making our line. Now, if you click and drag, we can make a curve, okay? And we can, there we go. So practice with that, okay? So let me delete this, and let me go ahead and make another line. So just kind of make a wide, let me make a wide angled line here. Oops. I'm in orthographic right here. Let me go back to the top view. There we go. All right. So anyways, just make a kind of wide path. Okay, something like that. Right click to get out of that command, and it'll end your line. Great. Now, we don't want the circle to be huge. Okay, let me just move this up really quick. We don't want the circle to be huge because let's say the circle is too big for that line. It's going to start overlapping on itself, and it's not going to look good at all. So I'm actually going to size this circle down a bit more. Just about like that. Great. So I've taken 4 minutes of your life making this. What do we do with this now? I'm going to go over to the top view. I like working in all my viewports. Sorry about that if I'm moving around a lot, but just get used to that, because that's really how you start working as you get better at this program. Let's go to the top view, select this path. This is what I'm going to call the path, because that's what the object is going to follow, okay, or that's what the shape is going to follow. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the Create tab and go down to right here, Geometry, bring down Standard Primitives, and go down to Compound Objects. We have something called Loft. Click Loft, and if you think about it, we already have our path selected. So what we need to do is get our shape. So click Shape, Get Shape, and go to perspective view, whichever viewport is best for you, and click on your shape. Boom. So you'll see it's kind of overlapping itself right there. It does not look good at all. So all I did here was went into Loft. Okay, it was kind of closed. Open that up, go to shape, make sure that's selected. Go into your viewport, make sure shape is selected. So select it, making sure that shape is still highlighted. And now you can, resize it. It's really great. You can even resize it in one axis, Just depends what you're going for. Okay. So, there you go. And we can make it skinny and such. Great. Let's go to path, line. This is where it gets fun. Let's go over to the spline. Okay. And now if we go to spline, oh, you know what? No. Let's go to vertex. Yeah, that's a lot better. Let's go to vertex, make sure that's selected, and select one of these vertice points. See this one right here? If we highlight all of them, we had one right here, one right there, and one here. And those are the original ones that we made from our line tool. Remember that? So let's go ahead and select one of these vertice points. I'm going to go over to my perspective view, press W, and now I can bring this down, and check that out. Now I can start adjusting the way this looks in general. And then if I grab, let's say, one of these green things here, you can even adjust like different angles and such. There's so much that you can do with this stuff. It's pretty crazy the way you can control all that. Okay, you can even adjust the segment or a segment, which is just a line, part of the line. Okay, let me go over that stuff then right now because I kind of failed in that part. Let me reset. No, yes. Kind of a long video, guys, but bear with me, right? Let's go to shapes, line. I'm just gonna make a simple line with 3 parts to it. If I go to the modify panel, we can go to our line, and this is actually sub-object mode. If I click vertex, you now see that we have 3 vertice points. I should have showed this to you before, and I apologize for not doing this. You can actually move each of these vertice points to adjust the way the line looks. Okay? So, yeah, that's that. Go to segment, and this is when you start selecting these line parts of it, okay? And that's when you start adjusting those. And you can change the angle of everything, and, that's the way that works. And spline is the whole thing. It's the whole line itself, okay? So just keep that in mind. You can change all the vertice points and stuff, okay? Now, there's one more thing I want to show you with these lines, okay, or these shapes. Delete this. Delete. Okay. Let's go back to shapes. I'm just going to make a line. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my front view. Okay. I'm going to Alt W this. And this is very important. Okay. See this hard line? Bring it down. Middle mouse button and bring it down to about the bottom. And what you want to do is actually keep on that line there. Okay. What we can actually do is let's snap toggle. Snap to a vertex or a grid point. There we go. I snapped to a grid point. Okay, all I did was right click and I went to grid points, check mark grid points, and turn on snaps. Now you can see that I'm snapping to these grid points. It's very, very important here that you snap to this middle grid point or this rough edge right here. Okay, because what we're going to do is actually make a line and we're going to revolve it around to make something. We're going to model something here. Hopefully something that looks similar to a pot. Okay? So click S, take off my snaps. That's the shortcut key for that snaps up there. So you can press S. You see it's like toggling on and off. There we go. So now it's not snapping. Now I want to make something that kind of looks like a pot. Okay? There we go. And click. Let go. Alright. How the feezy? How does this look like a pod, Jerry? I don't get what you mean. Alright. If we revolve this simple line, let me go back. Here's my perspective view. If we revolve this simple line 360 degrees, or at least, yeah, 360 degrees, it's going to make a 3D object, right? Let me go ahead and show you what I mean here. Select this line there. I'm going to press J. I hate that. I hate that outline there. I'm going to go to my modify panel here and bring down something called lathe. Boom. Alright, Jerry, what the heck did we just make? Why is it all dark? Dark is not good. And you can see what we've done in the front view and in the left view. Okay, so what have we done here? You can see it's all dark, and you can see that we've actually rotated this in the front view and the left view. I mean, it's obviously rotated, right? But it's rotated in the wrong way. Let's go down over to the align and hit min. Boom. There we go. You can see what we've done. We have actually made, remember the line kind of followed the path like that? We've rotated it, so now it makes ourselves a shape, which is very, very interesting. We could even, you know, take down the degrees, how much it rotates. Okay, right here, 360 is fine though. And if we look at the bottom, see how it looks all corrupted right there. Let's click weld core really quick, and there we go. Now we've fixed that. Okay, you don't want that to look like that. It looks that's crap. So turn on weld core, and we should be good. All right. So wow, you know, we've made ourselves a 3D shape using that hard line right here. What it did is we made our line on this intersection, right? And what it did is it rotated on that hard line, on that hard grid line. And so as long as you don't go past that line, your shape should turn out awesome, okay? Now this is where it gets pretty cool. What we can do is go down to line, okay? And you can see our original line. And what we can do is hit vertex, and now we can start moving these vertice points. And this is when I'm going to start rotating stuff. You should know what I'm doing by now, you know. And if I go ahead and go back up to lathe, you can see our pot looks totally different, okay. Let's go back down to the line, and I'm going to give you guys a little nice tip here. See this test tube kind of a thing? That's show end result on. We can click that, and we can actually see what it looks like, the end result. So if I start moving these two vertice points, you can see how it gets affected there. Move this 1 point. Look at that. Start shaping our pot. Start making some pretty cool things here. See that there? So I mean, that's pretty cool. Now this video is turning out way too long, and I just wanted to show you guys those these simple things that you can actually start modeling with these shapes and such. Trust me, you want to practice with these. Start making new shapes. Actually, this is how I made one of my 3D logos. So, I mean, you actually start... Remember I did the extrude, I think in the last video? I made a line, and, you know, you can start making out letters or whatever. Close it, and then extrude it, and, you know, you have that shape there, or whatever you need. What you also have is like a text shape. So, I mean, you can... Dude, you know, and there you go. But I mean, yeah, just shapes, really, really important. You might want to keep those in mind. So there you go. Hope you've learned something. You've learned how to kind of control these shapes by using the vertice points, the edges, the segments, I mean. And yeah, really important. Practice up with these, because trust me, you're going to be moving vertices a lot in the future, trust me. Alright, so thank you for watching this video. Please thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. 15 minutes this video was. I'm very sorry about that. Alright, I'll see you later in part 8. Bye.